Hello, everyone. It's nice to see a lot of people here in the house today. This is just an informational live stream that I thought I would bring to you, trying to announce some things that are going on. I had to change my bit rate in order to get it to stream a little bit better. Can everybody hear me out there? Just let me know in the comments. All right, let me see. Are going on. Okay, so let me go ahead and start. I'm Alan Gotro. I'm the host of True Crime Man's Dark Imagination here on my YouTube channel. First of all, I'd like to get some housekeeping things out of the way. I am the author of 2 books. One of them is Dark Bayou Infamous Louisiana Homicides, and the other one is Bloodstained Louisiana, 12 Murder Cases, 1896 to 1934. This coming next week, I'll probably be on a podcast with, thank you very much there, Radio Ladio. It's a nice name. It's got a nice ring to it. Daddy-o of the radio. That'd be pretty good, too. Couple of housekeeping things that I just got out the way as far as the books are concerned. Also, on the last live stream, there was something about, I invited subscribers to narrate an episode. A lot of bashful people out there. Well, I'd like to invite subscribers to narrate an episode. You don't have to be a professional narrator. I'm not a professional narrator. You don't have to have a professional setup. You can record the narration on your phone, and we will do the audio engineering here in my studio, which is my bedroom. Hello, Miss Voice Dancer. Hello, Ruth. How are you? So if you're interested, I'll be sending you a script from one of the earlier shows, nothing too taxing, very short, and you can record it and send it back to us. If it's accepted, your name will appear in the beginning and the end of the episode as a narrator. Now, like I said, you don't have to have a professional, any type of professional equipment. You can record it in a quiet room on your phone or a digital recorder and then send it to us, and the audio engineer will do the rest. And if we accept it, that's what's going to happen, and you'll get credit for it. I like to get my subscribers involved because I think it's very, very important. Okay, so there's a couple things that I wanted to keep up with. Recently, I posted something under the community tab regarding people who do not have constructive criticism, but act just as trolls and naysayers. The reason why I said anything at all, which larger YouTube creators advise against it, by the way, is because I'm trying to preserve the integrity of the channel and protect the subscribers that we have. It took a long time to get to where we are, and the hard work involved does not deserve the total lack of professionalism and downright immature, pseudo-intellectual rhetoric from Cheeto-eating, porn-watching basement dwellers. That's all I can say. Okay, there's been a lot of trolling lately. Okay, however, in the interest of fairness and professionalism, I will invite anyone who wants to debate an episode in question regarding their criticisms live on this channel. This will give them an opportunity to demonstrate their knowledge of a particular case, while at the same time giving a face to the comments. Okay, we have these people that sit behind their keyboards all day, and they sit there and criticize things when they don't have that many subscribers. Well, we just broke 5,600 subscribers. All I am doing is bringing them forward so that they can prove their knowledge as well. Rather than just becoming a criticizer, they can become a contributor. All right? And like I said, I'll invite them on here live. I will do a setup to where we can do it live. And I'd like to say hello to everyone. Hello, everyone. Mr. Vocation. Fistful of Podcasts. Oh, okay. That'll be cool. That'll be cool. Just email me at truecrimemdi@gmail.com. Now, one of the last couple of things I want to cover is I wondered whether I see a lot of true crime shows on the chat on YouTube. I'm not sure we should be copying people, but the last thing I'd like to cover is whether we should have a post-mortem on episodes, so to speak, so that subscribers who would watch live may participate in any discussions that may arise from the episode itself. I wanted to do this as a poll on the channel, but I didn't do it that way. Also, I may be looking for a co-host as well. I invite any subscribers to participate in this venture, and I want people to get involved. Because I know people just sit there and they just want to participate, they just want to read, or they want to watch the documentaries. Okay. Also, there's a lot of big documentaries that we won't be doing right away. There's been some suggestions of Jeffrey Dahmer and John Wayne Gacy, Ted Bundy. Those have been done already. All right. We're kind of concentrating on some obscure ones for the next one, which you may or may not have heard of, but they're very interesting cases. I want to make sure people are listening. I want to do things very professionally. I don't want to break down like a lot of other people do. And again, like I said, there are a lot of naysayers out there that don't know the hard work that goes into this. A lot of people think they're experts. Well, that's fine. I don't claim to be an expert. I just present the facts. Okay? I'd like to start what I planned on doing this year, 2022, is starting another channel where it deals basically with just history. And I wanted some ideas on that one. Okay, fistful of podcasts. Okay, that'll work. Like I said, just send me an email and let me know, send me an email so I can get your email address and I'll send you a script. I didn't want to spend a lot of time on this live stream. I like doing live streams. Well, Mr. Vacation, if you would like to, I invite you to do that. Just send me your email address and I will send you a short script and you narrate it for me. Don't worry about mistakes. Don't worry about the breaths. We take that all out. When we finally record something, I'd like to write a script for somebody. I'd like to write a script for someone. I haven't had that done. I haven't done that in a while. A buddy of mine, Bo Walker, is a professional broadcaster, and I don't like to, wear him down with certain things that I would like to do because he's real good with voices. I try on occasion. I learned some tricks from my dad, who was a radio announcer. I'll be doing some other projects with other people that I'll probably steer toward the True Crime Channel. A good friend of mine, a lady by the name of Marlene, came up with a fantastic idea that we'll be working on soon, and I'm looking forward to that. Again, it's not so much, and I wanted to come back to this. If you want to be someone who is productive in society, okay, I don't like to be around negative people. I just don't. I've lived through it for a while, and it was very distressing. Okay, we do healthy research. Everybody knows we do a lot of healthy research on here. I don't use Wikipedia. I use a lot of open sources that are primary sources, and I think we do a pretty decent job. We can always get better, but we do a pretty decent job around here. So if anybody would like to be on the show live to talk about certain things, I'm sure we can do that. Set that up through Zoom or some other place. But like I said, I just wanted to let everybody. Hello, Miss Robin. How are you? I'd like to thank Miss Robin, and also like to thank Voice Dancer for contributing to the GoFundMe account for my nephews after the untimely death of my brother and sister-in-law. We have some really good episodes coming up next. One of them has to do with a serial killer in France, another one in Germany. I'm trying to stay away from some in Great Britain because it seems that a lot of people in Great Britain are very intimately knowledgeable of the cases that occur there. Okay, and basically we're using sources that are available to us. So I think the idea of another history channel would be a good idea, because it'll give me a chance to act more as a teacher than a host. And well, I'm great. Robin's awesome. I'm just awesome. I'm so awesome. So I appreciate the time that y'all are giving me. Again, this wasn't an episode, and I apologize for that. But I thought I needed to get out some information on what was going on and how I would like the subscribers to become more involved. There is a case coming up that I'm going to be doing called it is depressing. However, we have Mr. Vacation, which talks about there's too much death is depressing. It is. I can tell you, I prepared an episode during the midst of all these things that are going on, that went on with my brother and my sister-in-law. Was not easy, but we did it. Encouragement. History is the best. I'm going to be returning to teaching for the spring semester on the 18th of January. I can't say as I'm looking forward to it, because we've been told that we have to include certain things in the curriculum that are not necessarily fact. And as an historian, I believe in fact. Okay? The one thing that I wanted to stress was that we are going to continue. I'm going to try and get as many episodes out as I can, within particular each month. I'm going to try and do 2 to 3. And then by the summer, I'll do a marathon of the episodes that have already been done. So if you have any ideas that are not blatant, that are not too popular, okay, we've been doing supplements to Jack the Ripper, and a lot of people say, well, I believe this, and it's really very instinctive when people start saying that, well, he did this and he did this, is the killer, that's the killer. Well, how do you know that? How do you know that? All we do is present what facts there are and let you make the decision. And it can get kind of unprofessional. It can get kind of argumentative. And I don't want to be argumentative here, unless you want to come on the show and talk about one of our episodes. There's YouTube gives you a lot of leeway in getting rid of negative people off of your channel. And we won't hesitate to do that unless there's some sort of constructive criticism. And there has been constructive criticism. And I'm sorry to hear that, Mr. Vacation. Mr. Vacation said his brother passed away in June, and know what you're talking about. And so you have my sympathies. You have my condolences. He was my only sibling. The video that I made, I had taken down. I thought it was up there too long, and it's kind of getting a little difficult to watch it, that I made. A lot of people were very complimentary about it. And, like I said, that birth made us brothers, but time and love made us friends. And he was he was my dearest friend. And I'm going to miss him terribly. But, in fact, I had gotten him involved in one of these, in one of the episodes that we did about baseball. And he was just the bomb when it came to baseball historian. But anyway, getting back to what you were saying, Mr. Vacation, about there's too much death, it's depressing. Well, yeah, and we got, we broke 5,600 subscribers. A lot of people have that dark part of their mind that still is interested in true crime, and that's what we want to fulfill. Hopefully we'll grow a little bit more coming up in the near future. So I just wanted to let you guys know what was going on. Actually had more people here than we did. Well, thank you very much. Let me just call you FFP. How's that? He was great in that episode, and I couldn't stump him. No matter how hard I tried. We were supposed to write a book together coming up within the next year, but that's not going to happen. So I might pick it up in another 2 or 3 years and dedicate it to him. But I have a new book coming out next fall, well, this fall actually, called Southern Evil, and it basically encompasses crimes that occurred in southern states that involve racism, jealousy, lust, and greed. So the publisher's working on it now. Oh, Robin, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, there was a lot of there, and more to come. Believe it or not, allegedly. But it was. We're still dealing with it because of the two boys, and they are currently here in. Well, one of them is here in Louisiana right now, being taken care of by his godfather. We just don't have the room here, and we did make our goal on GoFundMe. That money is going to be turned into a trust account once the succession is opened for whatever life insurance and whatever property is going to be gleaned from that. But you know what? I want to try and put it behind me. I'll remember him in my own way. Again, you know, we lost our parents in 96 and 2000, and I lost my brother, so now I'm not only an orphan, but I'm an only child. So I try to find, like my father did, the humor and everything. Can't really find humor in death, but you know, Mel Brooks certainly tries. Do I think George Hodel killed the Black Dahlia? The circumstantial evidence certainly points that way. Let's see. Family passed, lost my mom. Sorry to hear that. Still turn to ask her something, then remember she isn't there. You can never get over lost family members. Yeah, that's pretty. You know, I don't like to say dark, but you know, we had my brother and my sister-in-law cremated, and the ashes should be here very soon. And I was thinking that maybe we would take his ashes to a baseball field and scatter them here. We used to have a minor league ballpark called Zephyrs Field, but it's a rugby field now. And I doubt that they would give me any type of permission. So I'm probably going to look for a playground somewhere, maybe somewhere where we played as kids. We played baseball when we were kids together on the same team for a couple of years. The age difference is 2 years and stuff like that. So that's what we might do. Like I said, it's probably gonna take a while, but we're doing the best we can to get over it. But anyway, so did George Hodel kill the Black Dahlia? Well, he seems pretty suspicious. Had a room inside of his house that was soundproofed, and it looked like a post-mortem room, one that a coroner would use. I would say all likely probability, yes, he did. And even, you know, I mean, if your own son suspected that you did it, you know, it's kind of hard to lay that down. But anyway, so what was the other thing? Oh yeah, and there was a murder that resembled the Black Dahlia in South America, no, Philippines, in the 60s that represented it, had the same signature. I don't think a lot of people were widely knowledgeable of how the crime was committed and what exactly was committed, so or how it was done. So yeah, I think George Hodel, and he lived in the Philippines too. So I think yes, and a lot of reasons why he wasn't touched was because of his connections with the police department. You got to remember, he ran a clinic, okay, and that clinic dealt with, what was it, illegal abortions and sexually transmitted diseases. Well, what if some of the cops came in there with sexually transmitted diseases? What if investigators, DAs came in there with sexually transmitted diseases? We all know, based on the book, even though it was a novel, L.A. Confidential, that things were like that in Hollywood in the mid 40s, and especially with the country recovering from the war and things of that nature. I guess they didn't want to delve too far into death at that point, but it certainly has become a topic of interest. So I think there was evidence that he did it, but I don't think it's been properly presented. Let's put it that way. You can convict somebody on circumstantial evidence. We've seen that in the past. And let's see, Ruth says, even if he didn't, he was up to some very sketchy business. I guess, sure, he has blood on his hands. Of course, so does the Los Angeles Police Department. I'm sure they have a lot of blood on their hands as well from it. Let's see, anybody have any other questions before I let you go so I can work on a new script? I've been trying to finish one for about a week now. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I may include it with 2 so that I can make a longer episode, maybe into about 45, 50 minutes. Do we have any other questions? And I'm sorry it wasn't an episode. I was, just doing an informational type live stream, and I like the live streams. I really do. I'd like to do another couple of episodes as live streams because I get to see the questions. Let's see. Okay. All right. Oh, wow. We have 10 concurrent viewers. Like I said, tell your friends about us. I wish I had some merch. I had, well, thank you, Mr. Vacation. I appreciate it. FFP, thank you so much. And you know what? If both of you record narration, I'm sure they'll love your episodes as well. Okay? What was I going to say? It was important. Well, it'll probably come back to me. Like I said, I'd like to bring some guests on the show. I don't know if there are any people that want to be interviewed or things of that nature. I'd like to interview people that write books, but you know what? They kind of put themselves up on these levels. I've never turned down an interview. In fact, I have one coming up on the 13th of next week. My email is, in fact, I think what I might do, let's see, is I can put the email up very quickly. Hang on, let me see here. Dump. All right, let me see if I can do that. Really quickly here. Okay. And that'll be, let's see, True Crime MDI at gmail.com. Okay, let's see if it pops up or not. All right, so, oops, I misspelled it. Hang on a second. All right, let's see if, I'm going to put it up here, see if you can read it. Okay, there it is right there. Getting like people like that as guests is very difficult because they want money a lot of times. I mean, I'll give it a shot. There's the email address. It's truecrimemdi@gmail.com. I wanted to get, what's that guy's name? The Mudgett, to talk about H.H. Holmes, but I never could get in touch with him, or he never would get back in touch with me to talk about H.H. Holmes, because there's a lot of inconsistencies I noticed when they were doing the American Ripper series, and I wanted to ask him about him. He's been on him a couple of times. He claims to have a diary of H.H. Holmes's, but he says for legal reasons he can't release it. And I'm thinking, well, what are the legal reasons you can't release it? The man's dead. Okay? And if you have that diary, you are a descendant of this person. So what's wrong with releasing things about the diary? Okay, FFP, appreciate it. And there were a couple of other cases that I wanted to touch on. Man, I'd love to have a roundtable about Carl Panzram. I thought a lot of the reactions to that were, Drew, it's fine. You didn't miss anything. You catch it in the replay. Okay? Well, Well, yeah, I mean, I'll let him sell his books. I mean, that's, what I do too. I mean, I'm on this coming Sunday, I'm doing an interview for through Zoom, of course, with the Maryland Italian Society on my first book, Italian Louisiana. They wanted to talk about that, and I'll be doing an interview with them. But the problem is I won't be able to sell books through a Zoom interview. Okay, but they can put up where they can find the books, and that would be pretty good. That'd be good. Maybe part of a contract with the TV show. Yeah, you're right. You're ill with the virus. Okay, I'm not a doctor. Zinc, D, D3, and C. That's all I'm going to say. D, D3, zinc, and vitamin C. All right? And a lot of fruit juice. Yes, Pandram is, maybe part of a contract with the TV show. That's true, but they never really showed anything from it on the TV show. All right? But Pandram is such a compelling character and just an engine of rage. Yes, I believe he was. He was an engine of rage. But there was no reason to take that rage out on innocent people. That's my whole point. I saw this a few years back. There was a gentleman that, and I use the term loosely, was assaulting young boys who were under his care. He was a karate instructor. And when the police found out, he ran away with one of the sons of one of the people. And as he was walking through the airport, the father pretended like he was on the phone. The father pulled out a weapon and shot him right in the head and killed him. To me, that's kind of justice, because the guy had a reputation for doing this to young kids. And I don't consider him an innocent victim. But when innocent people are used as a form to express desire, whatever that desire may be, whether it be murder, a lot, you got to realize we got a lot of really sick people on this planet. And it's interesting to try to understand why they got that way. But my whole mission would be, if I was back in law enforcement, is to prevent it from happening. Prevent it from happening. All these people that slipped through the cracks. Was Henry Layer innocent? Mr. Vacation asks. I don't think he got a fair trial. I don't think he got a fair trial. I don't think a lot of people get a fair trial. I think the verdict is already in. I think the judges have already... It's hard for a judge to be objective. I think it's hard to be for a judge to be objective. A lot of people are convicted in the public realm to begin with. And once they get to court, the jurors may say, no, I wasn't influenced. Yeah, they were influenced. Trust me, they were influenced. They heard something about it. They knew something about it. Okay? Let's see. Ruth, I tend to agree. Of course, then again, I had some people come up. When we did the Andersonville episode, I don't know if you remember, and people asked me as an historian, how do you feel about the statues being torn down? And I said, it's erasing history. And it's not right. And it should be illegal. Actually, it is illegal, but people aren't enforcing it. Okay? Defacing monuments. You're not supposed to do that. Well, I got gigged for, this is just a channel for right-wing BS. And I'm going, really? Are you that? U.S. Constitution doesn't guarantee you the right not to be offended. Okay? Being offended, I drink coffee stronger than your feelings. Okay? So if you feel that way about it, don't watch the channel. It's that simple. Let's see. It's hard for people in general to be impartial. Yes, it is hard for them to be impartial. And why is that? It's because we've been influenced constantly by propaganda. Okay? propaganda. Whenever there's a news story on a murder, it's always portrayed in the most negative light. Now, of course, there isn't a lot positive about a murder, but suspect. They put their picture up. Well, they're a suspect. I understand that, but if they've been captured, why you got to put their picture up there? If they haven't been captured, that's understandable. All right. The more heinous the crime, the more cognizant we have to be of people's rights. All right? It's just that simple. If you've been in the legal system, you understand that. You have to dot the I's and cross the T's. You can't just say, point finger at somebody and go, they're guilty. I've dealt with a lot of stories, documentary research that I've done, where people, I agree with that, Mr. Vacation. However, I don't think that's ever going to happen. As long as you have archives and people that have memories, it's not going to happen. It might. The history books were started to be rewritten back in 2008, and people caught it. Okay? I agree there too, FFP. It states being impartial or objective is an idea we love but can't accomplish. And it's true. I mean, if you look back at the American Civil War. Hey, Drew. I told you hey before. If we look at the American Civil War, one of the reasons why that war took place was because we as a people lost our desire and ability to compromise. That's why. Okay? History is history. It happened, good or bad. People need to accept it and go on. Well, in my particular... I'm sorry, my nose is itching. Sorry. It's an itch, not a pick. It's an itch. A lot of people are pretty stuck. Like I said, we've been fed this line that we're told is history for so long, but it's not. It's basically just a perception of history rather than exactly what happened. Okay, and when you deal with people who live that and it's banged into their head, there's no room in there for new facts or the way history actually occurred. You see, so let's see. It happened, good or bad? I hope not. All right. And I was asked a long time ago to be on a committee when I was a middle school teacher, to reading textbooks and evaluating textbooks. None of them passed. None of them passed. And I could tell you why. They're from a lot of people who believe that there needs to be more social justice. We need to rewrite history the way other people see it rather than as the way it happened. Okay? Voltaire, I believe it was Voltaire, said, those who forget the past are condemned to repeat it. And it looks like we're repeating it somewhat, but it's not too late. And I don't want to get into that. Also, I like to stay away from politics. Okay? And the reason why I like to stay away from politics is, as a teacher, if my students know what my political leanings are, I've failed. And they don't see me as being objective. And I have to be objective when I teach history. And it's based upon not just what's in a textbook, not teaching college, not just what's in a textbook, but what's in writings, and being able to think critically. We've lost that ability too because we're not teaching it in high schools. All right? Let's see, I'm a history buff. Again, history is my passion. Sorry, talking about monuments being torn down triggers me. It triggers me too. And I'll tell you why. There's a group down here called Take 'em Down NOLA. The leader of that group, I teach with him in a program. Okay? And my supervisor gave me a class 2 years ago called American Government, which is political science. Now, it's not that I can't teach it. It's just that the person that's in charge of Take 'em Down NOLA protested because, well, you can guess why. Okay, teaching an American Government class when he's head of tearing the statues down. And I will leave it at that. So there was another quote that I can leave you with, Ruth, by a... Thank you, Jet. Appreciate it. I got this tie when I was singing in a barbershop quartet. I loved it. We actually got... Some fashion idiot said, "Oh, they got their ties at Walmart." No. This was almost a $60 tie, and we got it somewhere. The quartet paid for it. Anyway, there's another quote from a famous politician by the name of Marcus Aurelius. I think I may be paraphrasing here, but I'll get the point across. What we hear is opinion, not fact. What we see is perception and not the truth. Shortest distance between 2 points from an historical perspective is not a straight line. It is fact. Okay? Shortest distance between 2 points is fact. And I've always believed that. Okay? I heard that from my grandfather, who was not a very learned He was a very well-read man, but he wasn't a college graduate or anything like that. He kind of educated himself, and he told me about that when I first started studying history when I was 8 years old. Okay, so I don't want to bore y'all with all of this. On Tony the Ant Spalatro. Okay, so you're throwing all these ideas at me there, Mr. Vacation. They're going to have to go in the queue because I got like a whole binder sitting here of research that I want to start doing. So eventually, hopefully I will, especially when we get around maybe to the anniversary of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Since we've already done an episode like that, I may start concentrate on mob hits, that might work into that. But I want everybody to understand that, I appreciate your patronage. I love the subscribers. You guys know what I look like. I don't know what you look like. And I just don't feel that there's any room for negativity within these walls. So that's what I'm going to do. I got a whole big binder. That's how I do. I was called Binder Boy in graduate school. Okay, because I kept everything organized. And you get these other graduate students that sit out there and they thumb through piles of notes, and I've got everything, so what? Okay. I wrote 6 books, and that's how I keep everything organized. I got a 4-inch binder over there with nothing but scripts from this show, and I keep them, and it helps me stay organized. And if people want to call it OCD, if people want to call it a nerd, then fine. I did what I was supposed to do. Well, thank you, Mr. Vacation. You know what, Mr. Vacation? I'm going to suggest, why don't you go around and look at some of the other channels. A lot of them have been around a while, and they produce things. I'm not so sure. I like some of the formats, but I just, it's just the facts, man. That's all there is to it. And if you're new to the channel and if you've looked around, maybe go to some of the other channels. And I'm not chasing you off, I'm just saying. We just did. This is the 103rd episode is coming up. We got a lot of subscribers over the last year and a half, 2 years, and I'm sure they like it too. Everyone is free to express their opinion, okay, but need to back it up with something if you're going to express your opinion that way. So, it's nerd life, huh? Okay, I wouldn't go that far to call yourself a nerd, but that's all right. If you're comfortable with that, if you identify with that particular label, I like to think of myself as an historian, professional historian, because that's what I do, and I teach it. Sometimes to people that are willing to learn it, and sometimes to people that aren't. So that's just the breaks. I wish I could go back to. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Some of the earlier ones, like I said, were just starting out, and they were local. If you want to see a really good episode, look at the director's cut of the Axeman that we did. I thought that was pretty good, and that's going to be a chapter in my upcoming book this fall. Is on the Axeman. I dispel a lot of things that were put forth for the last 100 years on that case. Just doing some simple research, and people thought it was a mafia hit. Oh, cool. Like I said, I'm not. I did some legal investigations, but I think that's above my pay grade. It was a pretty good episode because it discussed a lot of things that had been brought out as fact that were not fact. I remember the Travel Channel did an episode on one of them, and well, thank you very much. People. It was on the Travel Channel, and there was this award-winning reporter, allegedly journalist, and he was interviewing people, and then he said, and we've discovered new documents. 20 years ago, I found those documents. A lot of times people just don't do their research, and they don't, there's not a lot of critical thinking involved in documenting and documentaries. There's not a lot of critical thinking. The people that you interview are generally the ones that have done all the critical thinking, and you're just interviewing them to get certain information. So, okay, well, if nobody has anything else, I've been on for about 45 minutes. I don't want to keep you up your day. The next episode hopefully will be up pretty soon. Again, you can write to the little email address if you want to send me something. Again, we're still taking contributions at the GoFundMe page. They've kind of slowed down a little bit, but we're on Buy Me a Cup of Coffee. We're on Facebook. We're on PayPal. And if you want to contribute to the program, that would be great. And I will see everyone next time. And it should be pretty soon. I'm getting these scripts finished pretty quickly. So I'd like to thank you all for being here. I really appreciate my subscribers. I'd like to put up, we used to do T-shirts. I think did Ruth get a T-shirt? And Robin got a T-shirt. And Voice Dancer got a T-shirt. They're not that expensive. And they're pretty cool. They got the logo on the front, and we make them here ourselves, and they last for a really long time. So I'm going to bid you goodbye. Thank you all for being here, and I will see you at the next broadcast. Might be a live stream. Who knows? See you then.